Hello, my name is David Hoover, and I want to discuss my experiences with the World Mission Society Church of God. While in Korea, I was approached by members from this church explaining to me that there was a God the Father and God the Mother. And to reinforce this belief, they would quote from Revelations verse 22, verse 17, which says, "The Spirit and the bride say, 'Come.' And let the one who hears say, 'Come.' And let the one who is thirsty come, and let the one who wishes to take the free gift of the water of life." So after reading that verse from the Bible, they would insist that there must be a God the Father and God the Mother. Now, I am a non-believer now, but I grew up in the Baptist and Presbyterian church. So the idea that someone would believe that there is a male and female God was a very different perspective than anything I had ever heard in my life. So after they approached me several times in the streets, I agreed to go to their church for Bible study. When I arrived to their church for Bible study, they had several members of the church stand outside of the doors, and they had like a cheer. It was like a shout screaming, we love you," and welcome me into the church. When I walked inside the doors, I was greeted by the missionaries that I had talked to on the street, and I was escorted to lunch because the time that I got there, it was around 12ish and they were ready to eat lunch. So they escorted me up to the cafeteria to where there was a whole nother group of members which all stopped what they were doing and started, cheering as well, which was all pretty overwhelming to say the least. So during lunch, I tried to be as observant as possible, and I noticed two things. One was that the women ate with the women and the men ate with the men. And the second thing that I noticed was that on the walls there was a portrait of this middle-aged to elderly Korean woman. And coming from the Baptist and Presbyterian church, there was never a woman so prominently posted on the walls everywhere. So I asked the closest male to me, who is this woman who's on the walls? To which I was told all would be revealed later and to enjoy my lunch. When lunch was over, I was escorted back downstairs with all the new guests and was told that we would begin Bible study. I was pretty excited about that until I found out that I was being separated from even the new guest and that the members had gone somewhere else. So I was in this room alone for Bible study with the missionary that I saw on the streets. The missionary gave me a Bible and told me that the lesson would be about the seal of God. They would give me Bible passages to read back to back to back, where I was not really permitted to ask many questions about the verses being presented. When there was a pause, it was to answer a question that had to be answered in a way that the church perceived it. From there, I would learn from subsequent meetings that they are trained to teach in a certain way and provide the passages in a certain manner. The thing that stuck out the most was that at the end of the Bible study, I was asked if I wanted to be baptized, which was interesting because from day one I told them that, I'm a non-believer. I don't believe in God, His divinity, any of that. So the idea that I could not believe in God at all and be baptized and that would move the needle in any way was confusing to me. But there was kind of this insistence that, I should get baptized anyway and that I should observe the Passover and that it would be okay, even though I don't believe at all. After that Bible study or lesson, I was invited to go to service. So I went upstairs where I saw the other guests who were in the other room and noticed that they had wreaths around their neck, which I guess signified that they had been baptized while I was in my Bible lesson. So the whole congregation during service did the whole cheer about how much they loved them and welcomed them to the church. Once service was over, that concluded my day at the church and I went home. I would actually come back to the church and talk to the missionary some more, quite honestly, because I was still curious and I enjoyed our discussions. I didn't take any of it personal or get upset about their interpretations because I don't believe in the Bible, so there's nothing for me to be upset about. It was all from kind of a curiosity standpoint. Ironically, I would watch people come and go as far as baptisms, but none of those people who were baptized would ever return to the church. I think that I learned a lot about the Bible from them because it challenged me to listen to what they were saying, which a lot of times, surprisingly, I think they were spot on. Then I would go read my Bible. Then I would read the MacArthur Study Bible. Then I would watch YouTube videos. And then there is a rabbi that I talked to, so I also got a Jewish perspective on some of the things that were said. And there was a lot of focus on the Old Testament with this group and the law, which sometimes isn't so much the focus in the Baptist and Presbyterian church. It has more to do with, the love and grace of Jesus Christ. So to get more lessons on kind of the Old Testament and the law and how to do things brought a lot of the Bible into perspective for me. So I tried to make the best of it while not really committing to the church. The missionary that I was working with returned to the United States, and someone from the United States came to Korea, and we didn't click so well. So I have not really been invited back to the church since then, or talked to any of the members. My takeaway from all of this is that no matter who you talk to when it comes to religion and Christianity, you can be kind of swayed by different groups or different perceptions of the Bible. So while I don't have a perspective to push like maybe many people who would examine this church or these members, I would say to the individual, as it says in 2 Timothy 2:15, to study to show thyself approved unto God. Not listen to what someone else has to say, not listen to what I have to say, which is why I'm not going to talk about my perspective versus their perspective versus what is right. Just kind of, if you want to understand where you stand with the Bible and with God, to open the Bible and read it, and then try to find people and get their perspective of where all of this is, and see where it aligns with what you've read and your understanding of the Bible. Also, it's just something you can pray about. The Bible says God will freely grant wisdom to those who request it. So that's all this atheist has to say about that experience. Have a good day.